Hi, and welcome back. If you're enjoying this series, please click the subscribe button, and I hope you enjoy this one as well. This one I'm going to talk about unconditional love versus conditional love. Now, so many people I see actually get this so wrong because they seem to think that particular persons around them they kind of own or have some type of controlling interest over. And I've mentioned this in passing before that our children, our partners, our puppies, our birds, our pet emus, whatever we have, we don't actually own. They are sharing their life experience with us. And yes, we may have some responsibilities that entails, like, for example, our children, our responsibility is to love, care, and protect them more so than most other life forms around us. But again, that is our choice. Okay, we're choosing to share our life experience with other life experiences. Okay, and this is where responsibility shouldn't be entangled with what unconditional love and conditional love is. All right. As a fully functional, growth centric person, our responsibility is to love, care, and protect those around us to the best that we're able to do. And that doesn't necessarily mean being nice to them all the time either, because sometimes being nice and people pleasing people actually can detriment because you've may have people pleased a person and given them a false sense of security, and now they're going to go forward and fall forward a bit harder than they otherwise might have. However, if you were to say, that's a great idea, however, have you considered this part, this part, and this part? Have you got solutions to address those? If you haven't, you might want to research as to how some solutions may apply. Okay. It doesn't mean you're objecting to what they're doing. It means that you've let them know that there are things they need to consider so that their path is just that little bit smoother. And sometimes that's the best form of just giving pure unconditional love, is just letting them know that we see exactly what they're trying to do. We understand what they're trying to do. And we have a couple of concerns that we'd like them to be aware of. However, if you'd like to ignore those concerns, that's completely out of my hands. It's their choice as to whether or not they take the advice or not. Okay, it doesn't change the way I feel about the person. Okay, if my wife asked me for advice for a particular thing, and I said, well, that's a great idea. You can do that. Have you considered this, this, and this? All right. I'll support you any way I can. And my way of supporting is to point out this, this, and this may need an extra solution. For example, a while back, my wife had a particular idea and she was really excited about it. And I've seen her get to this level of excitement before, and I want to maintain that excitement. So I held off saying anything for a little bit so that excitement could grow a little bit further, so the momentum could grow. And then when she got a bit stuck, I was mentioning to her that that's okay. It's part of the process. When you get a new idea and a new concept, it's okay to get a little bit stuck. You're going to find little pieces we learn along the way. Now, usually to other people and stuff, I would point out this a little bit earlier in the process, but I know that if I interrupt the process with my wife too early on, then it kind of sucks all the fun out of it. I don't want to suck the fun out of people's lives. I want to increase and enhance their life experience. So she was able to then put other processes and ideas forward and stuff to address where she got stuck. Okay. So yeah, unconditional love and conditional love really needs to be separate from how we address a person. Conditional love a lot of the time will dictate how you address someone. Like broken promises and cheating, or accusations of cheating, or accusations of broken promises, they are all forms of conditional love. Yes, there's a social stance on monogamy and monogamous relationships. However, if both parties didn't actually agree that they're the type of person that could uphold those values, then those values probably won't get upheld. Okay, this is again what I said in one of the other episodes about assuming. If you're going to assume something to be true, it's most likely not going to work. That's the old phrase, make an ass out of you and me. Okay, if you have a relationship that you're growing where there's almost no rules, I'm free to be my best self, my wife is free to be absolutely her best self, and we come together to create a relationship that's better than both of us. There's actually a lot of freedom in that, because we're feeling empowered by each other to be our best selves without the constraints of all these messy rules and stuff that a lot of society has. And when you take away all the chains and the rules and the guidelines and all these sorts of things, and you feel supported by your partner to become your best self, then you actually have this feeling of honorability and integrity to never want to betray that anyway. So all these rules out there are actually contradictory to the goal that they're trying to achieve. If you're feeling empowered to be your best self, you will naturally perform at a higher value level of integrity and values that most people do. It's the case of all these rules that people put on someone. It's just constricting and constricting and constricting. So every time you add a rule that constricts someone's ability to be their best self, you're actually encouraging them to do the thing you don't want them to do. Okay? So if you have a rule in your relationship that is just straightforward, flat out, no cheating, no thinking about cheating, can't even look at another person in a particular flirty way, well, you've just trapped them into a corner of wanting the temptation you've forbidden them. Whereas on the other side of the coin, you get rid of all those rules and you feel empowered and loved and cared about by your partner and supported by your partner so well, so thoroughly, so freely, that you don't really notice other people anyway. Okay, it would take a lot for someone to even bother getting the attention. Okay, and there are other aspects to our lifestyle and stuff that allow for that. But again, there's freedom in who we are. We are supported to become our best selves. Unconditional love allows us to have the freedom to feel more like our best selves and wanting to become better tomorrow than what we are today. Okay? Unconditional love understands that there's growth. There's a particular story from a grandfather to his grandson, and talking about the grandson's grandmother. And the grandfather was mentioning to the grandson that it felt like being married to his wife for 60, 70 years felt like he'd been married to 7 or 8 different women over that time, and he loved every single one of them. So just from that story alone, you get a sense that they had built in the ability to love each other as they grew into that next person or version of themselves. And again, that's that created a really long love story relationship. Okay, you get the feeling there that people are free to grow into the person they're supposed to be. You know? So I've kind of gone a little bit of a tangent and stuff with unconditional love, but like unconditional love basically means you're taking all the rules away and all the conditions as to you're only going to a conditional love is I'm only going to love this particular life form in this particular way if they do exactly what they say or exactly what I say they do. Well, that's not free. It's also not love. That's controlling from a place of insecurity within ourselves. You know, it's like this puppy that I have at my feet at the moment and stuff. It doesn't matter if the puppy chews my shoes. I'll be a little bit annoyed a little bit, but it doesn't stop me from loving that puppy. You know, I wouldn't stop me from loving my wife if I found her chewing my shoes. You know, there's no rule in our relationship that says she can't. You know, we're free to be our best selves, and if that means that's fine. Again, our relationship's supposed to be a fun thing. We're supposed to be able to have fun in our relationship. How can you feel fun and loving and caring if you're fitting into a box? And quite often a box that we didn't even choose. Whereas unconditional, you're free to explore the world and trusted to share your life with the person you chose to share it with. Okay, and that goes for your children, it goes for your friends, it goes for your family, it goes for your partners. Okay, unconditional love builds trust. Conditional love simply doesn't. So on that particular note, I'll leave you with those thoughts, and I will follow on this particular subject another time, but I have a couple more that I would like, a couple more subjects on EQ and stuff that I'd like to cover the next few episodes, and I'll probably return to this subject after that, depending on the response, of course. Well, actually, no, not depending on the response. I'll do it anyway. All right. So if you liked this particular episode, please click that like button. If you're liking this series, please subscribe. Please share on all platforms you commonly use and where you most think I could help someone with this information. Because it is also true that sometimes the people that we love the most don't always hear, even when we say the same advice, and sometimes we need to hear it from a completely different perspective or a different person. Or sometimes in this case, maybe just an Australian accent, who knows. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.